Tom Beal here, coming to you from South Florida with today's Make Today Great moment. Many of us were brought to tears after hearing about the tragedy that occurred in Connecticut today. This, to me, is like a 9/11. Possibly worse, since it was intentionally targeted to take the lives of innocent young children who were at school, playing, learning, hanging out with their friends that never made it home today. That's incredibly sad. What can we do? Well, there's a time to laugh and there's a time to cry. I cried. Chances are you may have cried as well. But there's three things that we can't control. We can control our thoughts, our words, and our actions. You were probably angered, as I was. And there's no way for you or I to even come close to comprehending the pain, sorrow, and torture that the families affected by today's tragedy are going through. And they'll have to endure and go through and deal with until their last breath. This is not something you get over. Hopefully this is something that we as a society can put a foot and a line in the sand, saying enough is enough. There cannot be another tragedy like this. How many more can we deal with? My answer is zero. What can we do to prevent it? Let's start asking the questions of what needs to be done so that I and other parents don't have to worry about some lunatic trying to harm our children at school. The answers will come. Many proposed solutions will be provided. Chances are many of them will be worthless because it won't get to the root of the problem. Here's my hypothesis, and I know little about what occurred there, but my hypothesis is there were probably some warning signs in this lunatic's life that let people know this dude's a little off. He's a bit crazy. Now, my hope is that no one was told of these intentions. My hope is no one is out there right now sitting at home crying or wondering if I had told someone, would those lives have been spared? If there is that someone, that person is a coward as well. Could those lives have been spared? Chances are, if you knew of it and you'd alerted the proper people, possibly, and most likely yes. You are just as guilty as this coward who took those children's lives, in my opinion. Did he tell anyone? I don't know. But chances are, someone knew something, and there were warning signs in this person's life along the way that made people know he wasn't all there. People just don't wake up and go do stuff like that, is what I'm trying to say. At least no one I know, and no one I've ever encountered. And I've met a lot of crazies, as we all have, but not insane and hurtful and harmful and willing to take the lives of others like this coward did. So what can we do? If we and our children and we as a community see someone being bullied, we don't turn a blind eye and walk the other way. If we're witnessing coworkers being harassed, we don't turn a blind eye and walk the other way. If we're walking down the street and we see someone being harmed or hurt or harassed, we don't turn a blind eye and walk the other way. We do what's right because it's right, in my opinion. That's a quote from W. Clement Stone. Do what is right because it's right. And if someone has spoken warning signs about suicide, harming themselves, or harming others, we need to know who to bring that to the attention of so that this person does not follow through with harming themselves or others. There's going to be a lot of proposed solutions, like I said. Who knows what actual solutions will come to fruition, whether that will mean guards at school. I'm sure the taking away of guns will be proposed. I don't believe that the guns are the problem. It's the people behind the guns, in my opinion. But the questions need to be asked and the proposals need to be made of how we can prevent this. Will it be some banning of movies / our hurtful, harmful movies, video games. Who knows? But there's going to be a lot of talk about how we can prevent this. I think the talk is good. It's going to be up to us to be watchful to make sure nothing gets passed that will be even more harmful in the future. But enough of my ranting. Go home to your loved ones. This is a brief journey we all have. Whether or not we make it to tomorrow or next week or next year, that's an unknown. We have today, we have now, we have this moment. Make the most of it, and until tomorrow, make today great.